Hello, what is up, my friend? Welcome back to the Be Cool and Live Balanced podcast. Happy Wednesday. Happy Halloween. We are hitting that time of the year where it is like holiday after event after event after thing after get together and all of the things. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel quite ready for all of that. Like, I'm very excited, don't get me wrong, and I'm like, I guess I'm ready, but like also not ready at the same time. Like, just because I feel like time is literally flying by. But part of the reason that I talk about that is because I feel like it's that time of the year where we need to have this discussion, where we need to talk about this, where we need to really touch on this. And that is how to finish the year strong, right? Without waiting until January, until the new year, because this is a big mistake that, not only I have made and used to make so much in the past, right? Year after year, where I just wait till the new year, like it's fine, like whatever. We get to the holidays and it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna eat all these desserts and I have all these events, so like I can't stick to my routines, I can't be consistent, I can't work out 6, 7 days a week, I can't eat perfectly clean. And then we're just like, okay, fine, I'll wait, I'll start over in the new year. So we're not doing that. One, because it does not set you up for success long term. And we are trying to set you up for success long term, right? You want long term results, you want long term success. You want to have results for the rest of your life, right? Essentially. And I want to talk about this weird, stressful, kind of overwhelming time of year. It's October and then November, and suddenly your energy is low. Your schedule is jam packed. Just like I said, it's event after get together, all of those things. And you're looking at your goals and thinking, yeah, I'll start fresh in the new year, right? January, great time. Once again, been there, done that. I think many of us have. Some of us still continue to do that, right? And I see so many high achieving women who fall into this same trap every single year. And then they end up stuck. You're hustling at work, in your career, you're juggling everything else, your family, your relationships, and your health and your fitness goals get pushed to the side, right? They become the back burner. They're not as important. And somehow, even though you don't want to wait until January, you do anyways. Because it just feels like the simpler thing to do. That's just how it is. And that's okay. We can admit that, right? And you don't have to do that though. You can finish this year feeling strong, right? We might only have 9 weeks left, but that is plenty of time to start building habits, right? You have to start at some point. You might as well start now. You start in now with 9 weeks left. I mean, think about what you can manage to do in 9 weeks. Even with the holidays, you can still lose weight and enjoy your holidays. So you could lose 9 pounds, you could lose 10 pounds and still enjoy your holidays and not sacrifice those things. I want you to be able to end this year feeling strong, feeling proud, feeling confident. And that way you can go into the new year with these foundations of these new habits and build on that, right? You already have a baseline of confidence and you're not going crazy. You're not restricting everything and you're not starting over every single freaking January. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about being smart, being realistic, and doing this in a sustainable way. Because don't get me wrong, this time of the year is tricky. It messes with all of us. Same with me. And most high achievers, we hit this weird limbo, right? You've been crushing it, like I said, all year long, work, life, maybe even in your health and fitness goals as well. And then suddenly it all falls. Everything just falls off the cliff, right? Your energy is low. You're pretty much probably burnt out because life is pretty chaotic at this point, this time of year. Let's just be honest. It is stressful. As much as we love the holidays or spending time with friends and family, like it can be very, very stressful. It just is. And you start noticing your habits are slipping and your brain immediately jumps to, I need to fix everything now, right? That's where we get to when we hit January. This is when panic sets in. You look at your goals and the holiday season and the months that you've missed, and you're like, okay, let's go full force, hustle mode, all in. We're going to double workouts. We're going to cut calories. We're going to try to make up for the missed time, especially during the holidays, right? If you think about it, holidays are starting. It gets really chaotic and really busy around like September with going back to school. And then you've got, so you count September, October, November, December. That's 4 months out of your year. That is a third of your year. So even if we're being generous and we just say October, November, December, that's still 3 months. That is still a quarter of your year. That is a lot of time. Okay. And the problem is your body has been running on stress all year. So adding more stress usually backfires. It is not always the answer. We end up feeling worse and not better. We also go through that moment where our mind jumps to, I'll just wait until January, right? So you tell yourself, probably, maybe this sounds familiar, I'll just check out, enjoy the holidays, I'm gonna eat all this food anyways, I'm gonna do all these things, I'm not gonna be able to stick to my routines, and I'll just start fresh in January. Sounds pretty nice, right? Like, just check out, not worry about those things, enjoy the holidays. But we know how this goes, right? 1 week turns into 2, 2 weeks turns into 3, and then it turns into a month or 2 months, and suddenly you feel very behind. You feel frustrated. You feel overwhelmed by the new year. That's fair, right? So here's the key takeaway that or purpose, I guess you could say. This isn't about being lazy, right? It's not about lacking discipline. You're just misaligning your effort, you could say. You're working hard, but not in a way that actually gets results. And that, my friend, is fixable, right? Those things you can change. You can fix those habits. You can work on those. You can develop better habits, right? I hate using the word fix because it can be so negative, like everything is broken, right? And it's not about everything being broken. It's just what you're doing is not working, right? Or you would not be starting over every single January. Now, we have to think differently. We have to reframe. Unfortunately, it's going to take some mindset work. That's just how it is. And ending the year strong isn't about perfection. It's not about ending your year being perfect and doing all the things. It's not about just losing 10 pounds. Can you do that in a matter of 9 weeks? Yes, you can. But it's not about that necessarily. It's about momentum, right? It's about feeling good in your body. It's about showing up consistently and proving to yourself that you can stick to something even when life feels chaotic. If you can get through the holidays, you can get through any point of the year, right? This is the busiest, craziest time of year. And don't get me wrong, like life things happen, personal things happen at any point of the year. But if you are able to make it through this couple of months and you build momentum, that is going to carry you so much further than waiting until January is. And if you can finish these last 9 weeks strong, January is going to feel so much easier. You don't need a reset. You're not going to feel frustrated. You're not going to feel behind, and you're not going to feel like you have to start over or you're starting from zero. You're going to feel like you're in a good place. And I know we're wired for action, but it's not always easy. And we naturally, we thrive in consistency as much as we like to be spontaneous sometimes. Like, we thrive in consistency. Most of us hate wasting time. So the goal is to give you a way to actually finish your year feeling proud without punishing yourself, without all of those things, without feeling inconsistent, without wasting your time, without, lacking action, all of those things. So I, of course, can sit here and I can drill this and say it over and over and over again, but you need actionable steps. You need actionable items for you to be able to take and use, right? Because what's the point in sitting here and telling you all these things if you're not going to put them into action? We're still sitting in the same freaking spot, not making any change. So I want to create just like I created really 3 simple strategies for you to take, and I want them to be bite-sized action items, easy steps, right? So your first one, you're going to pick one non-negotiable, okay? One non-negotiable habit. So stop trying to fix everything, okay? That is another big problem. You are going to burn yourself out. Yes, will it work for a temporary period of time? Of course, right? But you're going to burn yourself out. So you're going to pick one habit that matters most, something that if you stick to it consistently is going to actually make a difference. So maybe it's strength training 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe it's a daily walk for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Maybe it's prioritizing your protein at every meal or eating veggies at each meal or at lunch and dinner. Maybe it's a morning routine that sets your day up instead of you stressing out, instead of you burning yourself out every day. This habit is your anchor, okay? When life gets messy, when life gets crazy, and it will, because it's life, right? And it's gonna kick us over down. You have this one thing that keeps you on track, right? That you can revert back to and that you can focus on. Your second one is you're gonna set a short-term goal that actually matters, okay? So you're gonna forget about dramatic transformations, okay? Because those are not sustainable. You're gonna focus on a goal that will actually make you feel good in the short term. So, for example, maybe it's I want to feel strong and energized over the holidays. I want to stay consistent with 3 workouts for the next 9 weeks, or maybe it's just 2 workouts, wherever you're starting from. Maybe it is I want to maintain my weight without obsessing over it, and or maintain weight through the holidays. So the short-term goals like this are way easier than the big goals and abstract goals. And you'll notice too, aside from maintaining weight, I usually recommend that your goals are the action steps. They are not the outcome, okay? So really what I recommend is instead of like being like, I want to maintain my weight, maybe it's focusing a little bit more on something that is specific, the action of that, right? I want to prioritize protein at each meal 5 days a week. I'm super specific here, right? Because I want to make sure that we're not being perfect, right? So 5 days a week. And then it's an actual action item. So something that you have control over, right? And if you're sitting here saying that you don't have control over you eating protein at each meal, you're lying to yourself. Do we have to eat for convenience sometimes? Yes. But preparing yourself, setting yourself up for success, planning ahead, those are things that you might have to do. You might have to be intentional. You actually have to be intentional. That's a lie. It's not you might, but you have to be intentional. Unfortunately, like it's going to take work. Most things take work. Goals take work. What is easy now is hard later, right? So I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is going to be so easy. I mean, you can pick a super simple, easy goal. Like that is up to you. But I'm going to tell you right now, most of the time, most of us aren't setting a super, super simple goal. So it's going to take work. It's going to take effort. And the third one, you have to let go of perfection. Like it is not an option. You will keep yourself stuck in an all or nothing cycle over and over and over again, and you will try and start over every single January. That is a little bit of tough love, and I'm just going to keep it real with you. You have to let it go. And this is a part a lot of my clients struggle with the most. It is something that I have struggled with for a very long time and that I continue to work through because it's a habit that we have ingrained. It is now like a characteristic. And I get it because most high achievers don't like imperfection, right? But perfection kills progress. You missed a workout? Pick it up tomorrow. You ate a cookie? Good. Enjoy it. You don't have to eat the whole freaking box. Life got hectic? That's normal, right? Give yourself some grace and then pick back up and move on. Because if you're continuing to beat yourself up over this lack of perfection, that is not going to serve you in any sort of positive way. right? That is going to continue to drag out that negativity into the next few hours, into the next day or the next week. The magic isn't in doing everything perfectly. It's in showing up consistently, even when it's messy. Progress over perfection every single time. And I will use a couple examples of clients that I had start last year, right around mid-November. And I have two in mind specifically, right? We didn't do anything crazy. We didn't do anything dramatic, nothing like that. We worked through the holidays. The one, I'm not even going to give you, I don't give names on here. I might make up names on here, but she lost, I was looking at her calendar, or not her calendar, her progress chart the other day. She started mid-November and she worked through the holidays. We did not restrict her. She was working out 2 days a week for 30 minutes. She wasn't doing any cardio. We didn't cut out her holiday foods. She enjoyed those. She was traveling too during the holidays, and she still managed to lose 8 pounds before January. Her energy levels were significantly better. She felt a lot better because the food that she was starting to eat was more nutrient dense food, but she also felt guilt-free going through the holidays. How often do you go through and enjoy the holidays completely guilt-free? Ask yourself that. Like, how often do you go through feeling better after the holidays than you did before, enjoying your holidays without guilt? Because I will tell you that a lot of people, a lot of women that I talk to, that doesn't happen for them, right? Until they start working on these things, until they stop waiting until January, until they stop going through the cycle over and over and over again, right? So my bottom line, you can finish this year strong without burning out. You do not have to wait until January to start fresh, to start on your journey. And you can feel proud, strong, and confident going into the holidays, going through the holidays, after the holidays. So your challenge this week is to pick that one non-negotiable, to decide your short-term goal, and to start letting go of perfection. And I will say that's going to take some work and it's going to take some time, and you will continue to have to work on that, right? Like that is something that has been instilled in you over how many years? Mine has been 30 years, right? Obviously, I'm not going to break that habit overnight. It's going to take a lot of intention and a lot of patience. Okay? Do these things and you are going to walk into January feeling significantly different. Probably like a boss, to be honest. And not behind, not frustrated, and definitely not starting over. Okay? So, do those things. Share them if you want to. I love to hear about your goals, what you're working on, all the things, how you're doing. So feel free, please share them with me. And I appreciate you so much for listening. I feel like this was like half rant and half actionable items, right? Like very relatable and understandable rant with reason, right? Because it's just that time of year where we all need to hear this. I'll have this conversation over and over again where it's not the right time. I'll wait until the new year. The holidays are coming up. I might as well wait. You're not setting yourself up for success. You are setting yourself up for failure. And that's just me being real and me being honest. But I appreciate you so very much. And I hope you have a wonderful Halloween and you go into these holidays feeling ready and prepared and like a freaking boss.